Hey mates, how y'all doing? This is the glorious man, the true Jesus that you've been searching for. Here I am. You have the ability to buy freedom and your choice to join me. I had to do what I had to do, make myself visible to you all and reveal myself to you. So here's your choice, to embrace me or embrace me. Sorry, we don't have a second option here. This is how good it gets, okay man? This is how fucking religion is, you know. It comes in as promising heaven, and then all of a sudden it says, but my heaven, alright? No other ways around. This is fucking amazing. These goddamn son of a gods speaking basically are so good at it. They invented religion and the way that they fuck with people's soul and minds. And people are so stupid to fall for it. And before you know it, an entire hierarchy structure is formatted and paved and found, and everybody, just for the fear of their own lives, kind of give in to the whole damn thing. Speaking of which, of course, I'm sorry, it's just a little formality here. My name is Arash. Yes, nice to meet you. I will be always available to supply you. You can count on my services and my goodwill. Moving on today, I think, is August 12, 2018. I'm somewhere in this shithole America. Disclosure of location is forbidden by all means because of the hierarchy. Anyways, so how you say that? No, I was just actually watching this video. It's a short clip on YouTube where it actually shows it's kind of just a quick counting up on the visit that Iranian king, the former Shah of Iran had from Saudi Arabia. Two adversaries, you think about two adversaries at some point, a variety of reasons, if you will, they came so close to each other and they started acting so well playing it along with each other as if they're actually quite a masterfully friendliest people, most cordial, most humble friends have been ever around, basically, quite adversaries. By the way, if you don't know, these Arabs, man, they have one holiday they call Fath al-Futuhat. Basically means victory of the victories. They celebrate the day when they actually managed to defeat the Persians 1400 years ago and come and cut our head off or tell us either you become Muslim or kill you. This was the EDC celebrate today. You still go to Saudi Arabia, they tell you this. And as a Zoroastrian man, I'm a Zoroastrian. An Arab man, excuse me, not all of them, but typically are so fucking, their head is so small that first off, they don't know about this event. If you tell them that your ancestors 1400 years ago, they grabbed a fucking sword and they came after us and they told us that either they accept our invitation, become Muslim, or if you don't, you have to pay us tax, and if you don't pay tax, they come and kill us. If you tell them this story and what happened, they say, oh, I didn't know about this, I've never heard of such a thing. I thought that the people they accepted Islam with love and with the open arm and blah blah. Really? No, I don't think so. There was no such a thing there. We were already praying to what you call one God. We didn't need a second version of that, alright? And we did a great job for thousands of years of doing that, just because Persia at the time during the Sassanid era was a bit corrupted. That was not a solution to make it come back to the way that it was meant to be. Anyway, so the fun is that as well, I had one interaction one time it happened. I was at the airport and we ran to a fellow mate who was from Saudi Arabia on the plane, and this fucking Persian girl, stupid jerk bitch, and she was basically she was trying to become friends with this man. There was nothing wrong with him, he just was a fucking idiot, that's all he was, See, idiocity per se is not a bad thing. The problem is that it actually leads to what you call wrongful decisions that could range from anywhere from pure sheer violence and killing to becoming a subordinate to somebody else. It's just a matter of how stupid you are to make that happen. Saudi Arabia, as one part, they're really good at killing people, and one side is very good at bending in front of America, and yes sir, even bending from backwards, saying it's ready baby, whenever you feel like it. You know what, it's all good man, you're the boss man, we love you America. No, don't listen to these people. Sometimes they get drunk, they don't know what they're saying, but we love to, in the name of freedom, we like to let our people to chant these slogans to America. Please understand, this is freedom, this not about hatred towards you, or it's not practical, it's just it's a freedom of speech, just like in your land where you let yes, I know, variety things. I don't want to really get into detail. So you know how fucked up that's what I'm trying. So anyway, this man, we ran to, and he said, "What is your religion?" I said, "I'm Zoroastrian." I never heard of this before. I said, "I'm Majus." He said, "Ah, you're a Majus. Ah, okay, no problem. Oh, I understand now." Nice. I said, "Okay, well, listen, excuse me. Fuck you. I'm not Majus. The reason I said that is because I know you only understand this matter. That you're told in one, way about this thing. That is, for the love of God. That is, Majus means dirty, untouchable, basically. That's really what it is." And this holds to the Salman the Persians, who basically, as a vehicle of trying to get these people to fucking extend Islam through violence and killing, he employed this thing that told them that all non-Muslims, and especially back then Zoroastrian being a prominent religion throughout the Persian Empire to a certain degree, are basically, they're dirty and untouchable, and you have to make them Muslim by all means, because that is the only way to purify the world. And so they embark on this massive thing, and they really, more or less, I don't know what was going on, and they didn't go for it. By the way, if you don't know, Islam is a fabricated religion based on the books of Zoroaster, translated by Salman the Persian to Arabic in a conspiracy attempt among him and this fucking son of a god. You know his name better than I do, I don't say his name. Anyways, so this is what it is. This is how much they know. This is such an awesome faith and religion that does a great job of killing people, and at the end of the day establishing itself as a divine, holy thing that nobody, and I mean nobody really knows how it even happened, except a very purely divine, then again, way. Oh no, we just went and we just tried to spread the word, and they were just, so lovely, how Islamist. Well, I would love to become Muslim. Why don't you come here before? Well, sorry, before this, Mr. Salman the Persian had not decided to, become the traitor of all time and betray the whole Persian king and the Persian people and the world. So he decided to conspire with our fellow, and we are here to serve the purpose. Oh, it's so lovely also. Salman the Persian, it's all good, it's our kind, so we would love to actually religion anyway. It's just the same thing, I guess, after all day. Alright, that's so cool. Sorry, one trick here, you have to also pay us tax. So what for? I know, it's just for the administration of the faith. They have this in America also. They said it's funny when you park in the parking meters on the street or so forth. They pay the fucking thing you pay for it. The money you put in the meter is meant for the administration of this thing. This is so cool, man, right? See, this is something you have to pray to. This is real religion. This is the religion. These Americans, man, they're prophets, man. You have to pray them. They're son of a god, indeed. I pray these people. They're true genius, Don't worry, my people, the Persians, we came up with all these ideas first. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. But this is what I was going to really get at. Is I was watching this video and I was like, how fucking devastating, devil got together, and really this goddamn man, he started all of a sudden, the Shah of Iran. Well, he was quite a manipulator, he was, we don't really know nothing about him, and if you're such a dumbass, you want to, I don't even care about that shit, but that's another story. No, he did lots of good things, And we didn't really know how this really happened. That all of a sudden, America puts its trust into Iran, because they don't really, they don't really believe in that. They don't really believe. They're not looking for helping anybody. That's not what it is. It's really one thing to try to use you for the time being as they deem is good for them and seemed fit for them to try to basically utilize that weapon and basically vehicle to pursue and gain their own purposes. So what I'm saying is that that's to the side, I mean, on one side, he's promoting all these Western, American, really better said, American. It's purely all, everything associated with America is, he's perpetuating in throughout Iran. And all of a sudden, he goes visit this, Saudi king because, communism is growing. And he's trying to form this coalition with the Arab states and form this whole... All of a sudden, he tries to rescue Islam in an attempt to cope with this growing communism that he sees. I don't think he really saw it himself. It's really a miracle. They really ordered him. They said, you need to do what you can to try to, stop and curb, the growth of communism. This is really what it was. Whereas communism is a really threat to capitalism. It's the biggest threat ever made. In case you have some economical background, you would know that communism is probably the most awesome thing ever happened to humanity. That is, if it's really properly implemented. And this is one thing that will demolish all the systems that in name of your own financial freedom, they're really enslaving you and they're creating divisions further in the society. And the communism really introduces a whole new way of dealing with these things. It really is for the good of everybody. All that to the side, I'm not trying to refer to that, but here's what I'm saying. When I was looking at videos, of one thing I'm saying is just one thing. God damn it, these two men, as a head of two states, are playing this game so well. But they're given the warranty that America has given them. Is that, you just play the game. I assure you, will go just as fine, because both of you, I'll guarantee you, and I'm really with you. Don't worry about it. I'll provide for both of you. You just play the game, you get paid for it. How cool is that? Alright, well, you have to fucking bitch about it. You know what? You're getting paid for this, alright? So why don't you just do it? I'm not trying to rob you, I'm not trying to enslave you, I'm not doing shit to you, not yet. So just play along with it. And this is how dirty this politics, if you will, is, and how awful it is. No, this is just amazing, And here you are, the same people who said, they have to kill the Persians, the Saudis. All of a sudden they just seemingly so friendly towards them, just given the time and basically, if you will, the time and era and the circumstances. All of a sudden they turn around and show a whole different thing, Well, then again, we were the first to come up with all these ways. No, really, I don't know if you know about this. It's very interesting. Please, for the love of God, try to increase your knowledge of the world, really. And really, the reason I would tell you that, try to focus on the Middle East, Middle East of history, is that up to a very recent time in our world, really going back maybe perhaps 600 years ago or 500 years ago, basically, really up to the point when gunpowder and basically, cannon was born. And it was employed basically as a means of, military and fighting, if you will. Before then, the sword and Middle East was really prevailing among all other nations. And the Russians, for the love of God, they never, till the point that they felt that they have enough of, if you will, weaponry on them, they never felt so secure and basically confident about attacking the Persians. because they knew they would not have any, they would not be spared. You know, they were maybe. Anyways, here's what I'm trying to get at. You know, really, I'm trying to say, you know, I'm saying if your attempt is to learn something, you will have a very quick, most efficient way of learning how the world works and everything if you just study the, you know, the history and the politics of Middle East. And this will give you a gateway to everything else, because this is where it stems from, this is from where it grew from, and it was the same pattern that today where very well is being practiced throughout the world. So it's what happened 1400 years ago. These Arabs, they start marching off the mainland Saudi Arabia and trying to conquer lands and so forth, and killing tons of people. And yes, we don't know what exactly happened really. They managed to defeat the Persians also, and all that done, it took 2 centuries. Well, we call them 2 centuries of silence, because if you by any means try to express dissent and rebellion against the Arabs, you would just be brutally killed off, and there was no sparing you. It was just, what do you call it, true, you know, silence. If you voiced a dissent, you would be lucky if you were left by any part of your body alive. And this is where the Persian poetry really flourished, because the Persian poets started to perhaps spreading their message throughout the, you know, basic in disguise of the poetry. They try to spread their messages and trying to, you know, speak of what it really is, if you will, you know, the spirit of rebellion and revolt, and perhaps fighting for the freedom, or really their independence. Because, you know, there's one people you can't really, never, very likely colonize, and they will find a way, are Persians. That's why America made a grievous mistake to rise against us. You know, you keep your enemies closer than your friends, and it's a true fact. I don't know how well and dastardly and so well you might have put a system together. You believe, in your opinion, you are controlling well and managing to stay on top of the game of the Persians. You're wrong, my brother. They will find a way, and they will come after you, and you will pay a price for it. So, actually, about the price thing, see, this is the part that actually concerns me, because the Persians are very wise people, and despite of all the pain that they may have gone through, they were very, very civil people, and they might not kill you. You see, they might very well enslave you in a very more or less very humane way, just to enough that actually you're healthy, and by mind and by body you're healthy enough to fucking be able to work properly and do a great job and be able to supply them with proper profit. I don't know what they have in mind, they're Americans or the Westerners, whoever, they're doing this shit to them Persian people. That's another story, but this is what I want to say. So 2 centuries forward, going from the whole takeover and basically this Arab conquest, finally what you call them as Seljuks, basically being originally a Turkish tribe who was able to more or less wield the power through showing lots of royalty to the Persian kings prior, the Khalifa, and here there more smaller kingdoms, perhaps here there within the Persian mainland. Basically, they concentrated power and they united, and also royalty to the Persian culture and language. And they put a lot of people. The Persians really put trust into them, and they believed that they would be their protector. And perhaps they supported them. That's why over the Arabs, because Arabs were trying to just promote the Arabic language, their whole thing. And by no means they had no tolerance for the Persians. Salman the Persian had instructed these people so well and so dastardly well to come up with the ways to actually assure that this culture for good would go down the drain and the Persian culture would never prevail. Such a goddamn son of it, the biggest trait of old words and history yet to come. Even a goddamn that Andrew Jackson would not stand to him. Anyways, or that Mr. Washington of yours. So, anyways, but yeah, no, they did it, and yes. So what they do is that they finally managed to, take over the Persia from the Khalifa, and actually they go so far of marching all the way to Baghdad, which was the capital of the Arab Khalifa, and they take over, and they take over Baghdad and basically put an end into this whole imperial thing. But what they don't do is that they don't kill the Khalifa. They actually say, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do to you. You're going to be working for me, and you better listen properly to what I tell you, because your life, very well, but the rest of your life is going to be in line. And they say, you're going to be working for me, and I'll keep you in power. You'll be just working as my puppet here, and I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to eradicate you. I'm not going to force you to change your religion, your ways, or anything like that. You will have your thing, so long you show some royalty, just the old ways that the Persians used to manage their territories. But it's quite a phenomenon. You would think that these people have been so, goddammit, they've been brutally tortured. They would just spare nobody, right? This is our time. This is to fuck these people for good. Maybe we should have had. I wonder if that would happen ever to Americans. We don't know. Here's what we do know. There are ways to avoid and prevent wrong, not to do the wrong, brother. That is one way you can fight the wrong that might be going to ever come up on you. Don't do shit to people, and very likely chances are nobody would do shit to you. It's a very plain rule, it's not that hard, There are very few people in the history you might actually look at it at. They may have been given food and they've been given freedom and so forth, and all of a sudden they rise against you. So, how do you say that? No, really, actually, this happened, actually. No, seriously, think about properly. See, this son of a bitch, Alexander, speaking, this motherfucker of all time. This is a sick man, if you don't know about this. He was trying to all these crazy things. For 18 years, he went on this conquest to try to finally take over little by little all these Persian territories and finally defeat the main Persia. And all of a sudden, when he does that, he says, yes, I'm Persian. This is what he wanted, to be called Persian, because Persian was nobility, as it is today, even. And how do you say that? So, what do you call this? No, it was what I'm trying to say. If you don't know about this is what happened. See, Macedonia was a territory, the Greeks' territory under the Persian rule. Here, what happened though is that the Persians, they did a great job of trying to, really based on what I'm telling you, is thought, what? Let's be kind to these people. Greeks seem to really dig in a lot of the independence and let these people have what they want. Give them the freedom that they want. If they want independence, we will give them what they want. If they wanted to be lavish, if they want to feel the spirit of freedom that is finance and politics, let them have it. So Macedonia became very, very rich under the Persian rule, to the extent that this man all of a sudden was able to secure himself a lot of land. And, lots of different ways to try to, what you really need, politics and cavalry to perhaps to fight off a prominent, what you call themselves, they called the Persians invincibles and immortals, Not my words. The Greeks, they refer to them as invincibles. So goddammit, you want to fight the Persians? Are you sure about this? What are you trying to do? You're trying to destitute us for the rest of humanity. Enough is enough. We've done this before. Nothing good came out of it. They know everything. I mean, nobody knows anything. But over the time, they've been managing to do well. Basically, their project retention is much better than anybody else, seemingly. No, he wanted his thing. So anyways, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. So really, I mean, perhaps to what you might call carrot and stick. What I really believe in is that I don't think that we should try to hold anybody back from growth the way that America, even in land, prevents the indicators, economical indicators, if you look at them, the quality of life in America could be much better even for the Americans, the people who live here as a citizen, as a resident, basically as part of this society. But no, that's not the case. Because they think that they should also create some barriers and control people one way or another. We can read about this. Please try to educate yourself a little bit. I know a lot of you do, but I know a lot of you don't. And numbers that we don't know is much grander. You prefer your guns. I know. You think your guns would be your ultimate protection. If anything goes wrong, we will wait till it goes wrong, and then we will do something about it. Okay, good luck with that. So anyways, yeah, seriously. Yeah, my brother, you got the whole thing wrong by keeping you stupid and waging that stupid game on you, war game on you. Really, they have made sure that you've been held down for the rest of humanity to be able to do anything against them. This is one thing I can tell you, man. So you got it wrong. These guns are not for your protection. They're a fucking fake artificial screen in front of your eyes that makes you're seeing a nice dream and you think you have your freedom, and that will forbear you from having the real fruit of freedom, that is a quality of happiness in life. It's beyond what you have now, and that is for everybody universally, and that's part of that universally for you as well. A system that does not fail anybody, basically, is the only system that guarantees you as part of it also, perpetual, happiness and quality of life. No bait. You want to be a Nazi and see how the game of this fucking goddamn political dynamic the world will be just a matter of time to be played against you as well. Anyways, so how do you say that? So what I was trying to say is that hold on, let me see what I was trying to say. Oh yeah, a lot of you don't know about this shit, and a lot of you perhaps know about it. How do you say that? So yeah, quality life could be much better for everybody, And I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, you have a system here in America. I really need to talk about this. No, brother, this is true, man. This is really a interesting thing. And one thing that I wanted to say about this, I had the personal experience about this. Believe it or not, after a long time, yesterday, a couple days ago, I actually went to an interview for a contract job. But that's another story. The man doesn't know what's going on in my head. Here's the thing: what he does know. We had a short discussion, and I got there late, and I actually fell literally. I fell for one time. I actually saw a nice man, and this is for Ashura, basically, in the way forest. Basically, I went there, and I got there late, and he was talking to another woman, and I just couldn't wait any longer, and I seized the moment. I said, "Excuse me, are you Bob?" He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Well, my name is Arash. Excuse me, I got here late, and basically I tried to let the lady who was coordinating this meeting to be here and so forth. And anyways, here I am, basically." And he shook my hand and he said, "Oh, no worries, no problem. I have plenty of time for you, so and so. And let me just finish with this lady. Please, the only thing, just please do sit, have a seat, and be around. So when I finish with this lady," and I was like, "Oh my God, such a finally some semi-free man who's actually willing to do something truly positive, structurally positive. That is to." See a little bit beyond what really the boundaries of profits is. Anyways, what truly can believe you profit, letting people, a little bit leverage. So how do you say that? And we went there and we sat down, and within 5-10 minutes he finished a presentation that he was doing to me, and I was just listening, and it's like, he kind of, I don't know what was happening. He said, "Do you have any question for me?" And I said to the man, I said, "No, not really. Seems all good. And I'm just wondering if we can just get started." And at this moment, he looked at me and he's just like, "You know what? I'm so sorry. I feel like you're just not right for this position. You want to believe it for the love of God or not?" This is exactly all that came out of his mouth. Now, I don't know what in a flash of a moment he saw, or he felt, or basically he perceived, or he conceived about me, or combination that made him say that thing. But really, that was his original words. Those were his original words. And literally about a minute passed by him trying to making me, feel empathize with him. Basically, it was all a matter of really emotional appeal. Basically, trying to relay his decision. He said, "You know what? I might be wrong, but this is what my gut tells me," and he was keep apologizing, said sorry. A nice minute passed by. Then he said, "You know what? Well, you know what? Here's the thing I have to tell you. You were late and you don't look very presentable. If you looked at the other men or people who just came before you, they were perhaps a little bit more properly dressed for this kind of position." And I contended with him. I said, "Well, I understand, but I have some issues going on myself, and it's not that I don't know any better. It's just that, unfortunately I was in a bit of rush, and it's just whatever." And I thought it would be understandable for him, but I don't know what was really in his head. I'll tell you one thing, this happened to me many times, and it's not purely just because I was late or freakishly not perhaps looking my best. It was really, I can tell you, a fucking one thing, man. People can't even see your face. I say, this motherfucker got brain, man. He's more of a threat to us than any kind of asset. This motherfucker been working here, man. Next thing you know, he's gonna next thing you know, he's gonna take over my job, and he's gonna be here, and he's making him a lot of money. I'm gonna have to, he's gonna end up losing his job. That's the truth of fact. Either that, or just another thing I'll tell you, is that I don't take shit, and I will fight back. Not fighting, but I'm just saying, if you try to fuck with me, I will send you a face, and I will say, "You know what, you're doing shit, alright? I don't care you want to do it to somebody else. I'm too busy to care for it. Don't do shit to me, alright?" And this is how it goes. And that this might, be a problem. Or very rarely will be a problem, because I don't know, just a fucking I'm not saying everybody's like that, but a lot of people are like that. They just want some kind of a fucking subordinate. Matter of fact, it's funny is that we actually read this thing so many times in this fucking country. They speak of freedom and empowering, blah 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 blah. So many times in articles or in papers, so forth, they actually call employees subordinates. What the fucking fizzly shit is that, dude? Why would you even use that kind of word, man? No, really, what is that supposed to mean? That is such a pure baloney, son of a gun, gun, whatever crap. But you're saying, you know what I'm saying? No, really, what I'm trying to say is that, if you really think a man doesn't have a proper shirt or something on, and, he's explained himself to you, maybe you care enough, if you're not a fascist person, I'm trying to say, let them give him a benefit of the doubt. That's what it was. I didn't look presentable enough, I was late, and I'm trying to tell him that I have some extenuating circumstances that is causing that shit. So, if you're really trying to help somebody to begin with, might care to freakishly, basically, to say, you know what, seems like this man is going through a lot and is sort of on the verge of running into some problem, but here it is. He's trying to get a job, he's trying to do something. Why don't I just let it go? And matter of fact, say, you know what? I'm gonna get you some good clothes. It's all on me. You know what? I will give you, matter of fact, as a loan. Here's a suit, I will buy you, or I have one, I will gift it to you. Do me a favor, please come sit with me, have an interview again. I want to see you to shine, basically, so forth. In a very nice way. Not a way that you make a person feel like shit, basically, So, yeah. But this is how it is. You have idiots, basically, running the system, one way or another. It's a private company, there's a fucking government, and you don't know at the end of the day which one is really better. Because why? They all run by what is called the fucking fascist Americans. And excuse me, I have to be fair here. It's really not Americans, because the psychology that they have devised is so well that it works on everybody. The immigrants who come here, the foreigners who were not born into the system, basically, they're just as vulnerable to fall for that kind of shit and become sucked into it and become the same kind of a jerk as the rest of you all. I'm saying, this is truth, and there's no hiding the truth. So, no, it's not about being American. I have to be just and fair here. Matter of fact, what I always say is that the way that this psychology works is that, there's two ways around this thing. Shitty behavior patterns, basically, in the plain colloquial language, put in it, happens two ways. Either when somebody has too much food on their table, or too little food on their table, or rather none. You know what I'm saying? When you have little food, you just don't give a shit. You're willing to do anything, and I mean anything, to get your hands on food. And you become a total jerk one way or another. Basically, you're willing to reinforce some shitty system for the sake of your own welfare. You know what I'm saying? Or you have too much food where you feel like, it just, the laws or the system just simply does not apply to you, and you're just basically an exception to it, and you can do shit to other people, and you can do it and get away with it. I've seen all these different ways, and I'm sure you all have seen it somehow. I'm seeing in a very structural way, basically. I don't know how you have developed that in your system, but I've seen a lot of these things, and I can see how things go. Anyway, so I'm saying that basically you can do a lot of shit to try to deal with things. Well, you have these people who live on the streets, and people are like, I wonder why he just doesn't have a house. Why he's fucking shit, Well, guess what? Maybe he has some situation that whatever it was, at some point he was trying to work it with some people and trying to get back on track, maybe. And you son of a bitch, and that moment is trying to help the man, you actually use this problem against him, and you fuck with his soul. Okay, man, have a good day.